I think it's copy-paste of the old multi-annual financial framework. There are no big differences with the MFF of 7 years ago, I think it's very difficult for the Parliament to accept this proposal. And the reasons are very simple. First of all, they create a deficit of more than 50 billion euro. What is unacceptable for the Parliament. You cannot say at one side to the member states, oh, you have to solve your problems of public finances, at the same time create a deficit on the level of Europe. And second is they are cutting mostly in growth-related expenditures, in innovation, in growth, in infrastructure, in connecting Europe. And the third element is that there is no longer a place in this proposal for own resources. That was one of the big requests of the Parliament, to have own resources, a system of direct financing of the budget by the citizens. We have still an old-style system based on national contributions. Let's be honest, what we are doing, we are fixing a financial framework for 7 years. In 7 years the world is changing completely. Even the Soviet Union didn't have a planification on 7 years. Their planification was on 5 years only. And we are making a system on 7 years that is really blocking a number of growth-related policies in the European Union. And let's be very clear on that. It's not the level of the expenditures. We accept fully that there is a lower level of expenditures than in the previous MFF. But what happened is that nothing changed in the common agricultural policies, nothing changed in the cohesion policies, and where they are cutting in innovation, in research, and mainly in infrastructure. Infrastructure in energy, in transport, and in internet. And on top of that, with an additional deficit of 52 billion of euros. What has been done is very clear. You give the amount to the cohesion funds, that's the 960, and then you create an amount of payments of 908 as the net contributor countries are asking. I don't know how you can call it. Is that budgetary fraud? That you have two stories in one MFF? A story that can be told by the net contributors, saying, oh, we only pay 908. And another story for the cohesion countries who are saying, no, we received 960. How you call that?
So my feelings are negative about what they could achieve, but also about the whole process. I think this summit and the final conclusions or the final proposals show that the heads of states of the European member states do not really back their big common targets as agreed in the EU 2020 strategy. There is no common signal that heads of states understand that putting their money together is the best fundament for a better, innovative and sustainable development of the European Union. I would agree to say that with this Council, Europe is not able to tackle the challenges for the future. We have this financial crisis in our back still. We have a global crisis of the economy, we have the climate crisis, we have even growing poverty in Europe, and so how they are going for organizing economies. So this is not a signal I see as a strong and unified signal.
Well, I don't think it's a good compromise. It's not a good compromise from the amount of money, but what is much more important, not a good compromise because I think many of the elements which are very important for Europe and which are very important also for our decision, European Parliament, like growth, innovation, employment, are not enough dedicated with money. And therefore it will be seen very critically by the European Parliament. We will carefully study it. If it's an offer to negotiate about it, and of course we will talk and negotiate. If it's just saying you have to have it or take it or leave it, then it may be that we leave it and we will not agree.
I think it's very positive that finally we've achieved a reduction in the EU budget that many of us wanted to see. Europe needs to be leaner and fitter in our view and reflect the mood of austerity across Europe. I think it will be rejected by the European Parliament, although my group certainly will support it. The problem is that the Parliament are going to do this by secret ballot. So it will look as though the Parliament is out of touch and unaccountable. But in general, from the point of view of the European tax-paying public, I think it's a positive budget.